Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to make this cool effect completely in Photoshop, no plugins, nothing required. Lots of you asked for a tutorial on this on my Instagram page, so let's jump right into it. Write your text. I'll place it here at the bottom because I want it to melt upwards. Make it a little bigger. Now the fun part begins. Just double click on your text layer and the layer style window will pop up. We want it to get a sort of RGB glitchy effect. So I'm going to deselect two of the channels. For now, let's go with green and red and just leave the blue channel selected. Press OK. We're going to then duplicate our layer, double click on it. This time just leave the green channel selected and deselect the blue. Duplicate one more time, double click again, and this time we're going to select the red channel. Press OK. Now we're ready to start smudging. This is going to be a good friend of ours for this type of design. So let's grab our smudge tool. I usually go with about 60% strength and use a soft brush with it so it's not too harsh. I'm going to resize my brush. Just click and this little window will pop up. You need to rasterize your layer in order to have this work. So just press OK. And then we're just going to smudge a little bit. Just click and drag up and down until you sort of see the color separation in there. We're going to do the same thing for all three of our layers. Same thing with the third layer. Once we are happy with the result, we are going to select our three layers, group them, and duplicate the group. And then we're going to go in our top group. Just select the first layer, and with the rectangular marquee tool, I'm going to use this, but you can use whichever selection tool you prefer. And I'm basically just going to select the top portion of our text, and I'm going to press Command T or Control T to transform it. And then by holding the Shift key, I'm just gonna click and drag upwards to smudge it all the way vertically. I'm gonna zoom out and smudge it quite a bit, kind of like that. And as you see, we have our red smudged all the way up. And we're gonna do this for all three layers. So just smudge, and as you can see, the green is coming out right now, and we get a cool color mix. Let's do this for our third layer as well. This should be the blue, so we're going to see some blue in there. I like the blue to be prominent, so I'm going to stretch that one out the most. And we're left with something like this, which, if I may say so, already looks pretty neat. But we're going to duplicate this group one last time. Open it up. And we're going to stretch it some more just to make sure it goes all the way up to the top. Our green wasn't all the way up to the top, as you can see here. Right. Now this looks pretty cool if I say so. And now we're going to group our three groups. Duplicate that again. Now, mind you, this is how I do it. Personally, there are millions of ways you can achieve a similar effect, so don't come at me if your technique is a little different than mine. What I like to do now is just merge the group together. Then I'm going to press Command T to transform it, right click and select Warp. Now we can play around with this and mess it up a little bit more. I'm usually just don't go with the default because I prefer having more points to distort this. And mind you, we still have the copy underneath, so we're gonna kind of have a double effect in here. So I think I'm gonna leave it like this. Now that we're going somewhere, I'm going to add a new layer and grab my brush tool. This is just to add some highlights and color to it. So if you have some pretty sparkle brushes or whatever, you can definitely use those. I'm just going to use a soft round brush and increase its size. Just click once, kind of like this. Then I'll add a new layer. I want kind of like a lens flare or a sparkle. So I'm just going to squish this a little bit and place it here on our Y, and I'll duplicate it and spin it around because I want it to be like a little sparkle. Something like that could look cute. What we're going to do now is unlock our background, group everything together, duplicate and merge. This way, yes, we're working in a pretty destructive way, but we also have our backup over here in case we mess up and want to go back and don't want to start all over again. So the next thing I like to do is just go to filter, camera raw filter. And this is where you can really go crazy with the colors you're going to use. I'll usually start with the light effect. So just edit the exposure and add a little bit more contrast, highlights, reduce the shadows, add a little bit more white, and reduce the blacks a little bit. After that, I usually go to the color mixer and select all over here, and now we're going to go crazy with the colors. Now you can edit this as you would like, but I usually just drag this left and right and decide which colors I like best. So this is gonna basically just change the hue of your colors, light blue and pink together. And next up we have the saturation and then the luminance. So again, just try out what works best for you and what you like the most. I usually go crazy with it, and I like very saturated colors, so I usually slide almost everything all the way to the right hand side, and then play around with the luminance as well, and press OK when I'm happy with how the colors are looking. So before, after, pretty nice changes. I'm going to duplicate this and going to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and we're going to blur it quite a bit. I'm going to go with probably something like 15, and then change the blending mode to something like lighten or screen. You get this hazy glowy effect, as you can see. Group everything together, duplicate it again, merge it, and we're going to go to the camera raw filter again and readjust the colors to get that hazy glow effect, and to re-edit our colors a little bit. Color mixer, same thing as earlier, just readjust the colors. You can add even more saturation. That's mainly why I do it. And you can add a little bit more definition on the colors. Press OK. If you want, you can also just add another layer, and with your brush tool, you can just choose some colors that you have in your design. Just add some color. I sometimes do this. Just add some dots, blur them out, and change the blending mode to something like screen or lighten, and then lower the opacity, whatever fits. You get a little pop of color in there, which is always nice to have. I'll add a starry night image in there and just change the blending mode to lighten or screen and lower the opacity. I'll then just add some noise, and you can add more textures if you'd like or not. But this is basically the process of this type of design that I make. And yeah, so it looks pretty hard, but it's just basically some RGB smudging and color, going crazy with the colors and just adding a bunch of textures to that. So try it out. Tag me in the stuff you make using this technique. And I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial today. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more content that I make. Also, I post daily designs on Instagram, and I am on day almost 900, I think, or 800 and something. I don't even remember. I lost count. So if you're interested in that sort of stuff, definitely go check my Instagram account out as well. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!